Hey there, it's Brian, Mr. SF Studios, working on the old riding mower today. One of the most wearable parts on these, of course, is the mower deck assembly. The spindle, all the pulleys, none of that stuff lasts very long. You get a season or two. So then you just get a kit, you know, you get the kit. You get all the goodies, you get the belt, and you put it together, because mowing season's going to come with fury this year with all this rain. The weeds are just going, wee, oh boy, let's grow. Once that sun comes out, it's going to be weed central. So you want to keep your mower ready to go, and that's what we're going to do today. So first thing to do, probably be give a little towel off. So the reason we do this is because the bearings get sloppy. Like that, a jiggle allows the blade to wiggle around. It's nothing you want. Edge of the blades are starting to crack anyway. It's just time. You know, it's a new season of growth. Good idea to give the mower deck a little love. So the first thing you're going to do is take your belt off. Just pull it off of the motor pulley. So you just want to pop that cotter pin off. There should be a couple others in the back, and then the whole deck just drops down. Boop! Just lift it away, pull it up and out. Save your cotter pin. Put it somewhere safe. Grab the washer, put it with it. Now there's really nothing holding the front of the deck on. We could push that rod and it would fall to the ground, but instead we're going to go to the other ones. There's the cotter pin back here, another big giant one. Okay, and there's the last one. We just need to get this up over the deal. Pull it out. Like that. Yank it out. These are kind of tricky cotter pins. They have a little counter pin that keeps locking in place. Ah yes, and you have to disconnect your belt drive spring here. See, the cable will connect to it. It just pulls on the engagement spring. If everything's down and not connected, you can actually just physically move the pulley in and then unhook the spring from the eyelet, see? Now that's free. So you need your socket, a 1/2 inch, on the bolt that holds the engagement cable bracket. Alright, and you want to loosen it. Lefty loosey. Oh wait, there's one more cotter pin. There's these arm ones. Anyway, the bracket's free. So there, the cable is free. Now we need to get these cotter pins. This is the other support arm. One on each side. Another set of cotter pins, same as before. Yank that out. Now this arm is free, okay? And do the same on the other side. Yep, same over here. The big thing with these is that you just have to get this little bow tie side up over the knob so that it'll slide, because it's going to keep it from moving unless you twist it and get it up over the thing. There we go. At this point, our deck is free. It's no longer connected. You do have to get your belt off the belt stay, and then you're good to go. You can slide out your deck. So the kit comes with everything you need. It comes with every pulley on the whole deck. All these, you can replace all of them, because really they do wear. You know, they get wet. They're sealed bearings, but they have a lot to deal with. They're in a harsh environment. They're dirty. They're wet. They're gritty. And the vibration doesn't help him, and so you just want to replace them all. There we go. Oh, and now there's a belt guide, so don't lose that. There's our used pulley, and it's a little rough. You can hear it's a little rough. It's certainly not as lubricated as this one. You hear the difference? Can you hear the sound? There is no sound because it's a new bearing. Compare it to the old one. Right? Nobody wants that bearing. A new belt. This one's a Craftsman. The kit came with a Husqvarna. It doesn't really matter. They're both the same kind of length and design. But we want to get this off and put the new one on when we put the new pulley on. You can always refer to the way stuff is routed. So right now we're replacing that pulley. Then we're going to do that spindle. And then we'll do that pulley. And we'll do that spindle. So the spindle pulley nut is a 7/8, and that's a really big socket like that. It's all American stuff, so it's still standard. But to turn it, you're going to have to wedge something under there to hold the blade from turning around while you loosen it. To keep the blade from moving, you can just put a piece of wood under the deck and the blade will hit it and then jam against something there. Sorry, this bolt's going to be super tight from corrosion and just because it's torqued on. So get yourself a little piece of pipe, put on your wrench, give yourself a little lever from the fulcrum, right? And then you can pop it free. We got our block of wood under there and we're taking the knot off. There? Easy peasy. Right? Two little cover bolts with these torques. But I mean, it's all up to what you want to do. You can give money to the repair shop, or you can just do it yourself. Buy some tools, do it once, and then you have the tools. You can keep doing it yourself. Because the parts aren't any better, and it breaks and wears just as fast when they do it. Okay, cover's off. Now the pulley can just lift up now. See? Boom. Make note of any spacers that it has. Like it's got one little washer or built-in thing. So you might have to mimic that. It's nice that we don't have to mess with any of this. Now we need our 1/2 inch to get our spindle off. Now all 4 bolts we want. On our side, this wire bracket that keeps the belt on the pulley. So you want to make sure you lose that same way as you have there. All 4 of these have to come out. Get under the bolts. You don't need to use them. There's another bolt. Which is nice. So you can see it's really good. Get the bolts in these, but you don't see leaving it because the wire frozen. So at this point, you can just turn them by hand. We don't even need the wrench anymore. Get our 4 bolts. So you should be able to just lift up your deck and pull out your old blade and spindle. And here it is. Old, new, same kind of deal. And the blades, oh, the blades are awesome. Look at that, Oregon. Look at that, made in America. It ain't even a tiny blade. It's on pretty tight, this little nut. So I put it in a vise, the pulley, and that keeps the spindle from moving so that we can break this nut free. Alright, take that off. Just like that. And we can put our new blade on, or a new spindle. Alright. So this is why we do this. We replace the spindle. Look at how much play there is. See how it jiggles from side to side? It shouldn't do that. So that's how we know that the bearings had it. This one, when it let go with the uneven blade, probably destroyed this lower bearing. Oh, it's super loud. Hear that sound? Shouldn't make a bunch of noise like that. The beauty of having the pulley in a vise is you can get the blade on nice and tight, right? But you'd never be able to do chasing it around on the mower with a piece of wood or whatever. That's fine. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, I think it actually tightens it when it runs. So the kit comes with this new bolt. But if you use it, it doesn't tighten it down enough, or it won't go any further. So I may reuse my old bolt. Yeah, see, it stops right there. It stops right there, and you've got a bunch of wiggle room. So I think you should use your old pulley bolt. That will seat it all the way down to the pulley. Yep, so you got to reuse your old pulley. So this one's ready to go in. We can just lift up the deck and slide this into position, and we'll put our piece of wood. Okay, so I lifted the deck and I slid the new spindle and blade under. You just got to line up the holes, and you start putting your bolts back in. The kit comes with these, and you're certainly welcome to use them. But I really like my old OEM ones, and they still have anti-seize, so I think I'm going to go with those. And we've got to put our belt stay. The installation of the spindle is just like taking it off, but the other way. So you have to tighten all the bolts. Okay, our spindle is secure. It's ready to go. Now we want to get rid of our old belt and get our new belt into position. When you're setting your pulley on, you want to make sure you get your belt inside the belt keepers. See that? Because that's what keeps it from walking out of the pulley. So that looks great. And then the belt goes up and around the idler pulley and then up to the front of the mower, right? And runs off the engine power. So now we can put our big nut here using the old one, because this has more depth inside of it, so it'll cover that gap, whereas the new bolt doesn't have enough room. I don't want to use the wrong size thing, but whatever. You just get it for you. Anyway, get that down, get that nice and tight, and I'll secure the motor blade with this wood again, so rotate that down. So that's nice and tight. I use my pipe even just to make sure, got that little extra bit to make sure it's really tight. But now all we need to do is put the bolt and the washer on this guy up underneath and tighten this down. The belt keeper has a little tab, and the tab sits in the groove. Keeps it from moving, right? Keeps it from wandering around. So just make sure you get that right, that you get it in the groove, right? And then you've got to bring the belt around the pulley like that, see? So that the guide keeps it on the inside up near the pulley. So that's how it should look. Over, around, up, behind the keeper, between the keeper and the pulley, the belt. Then you take this, hold it up over the bolt underneath, and put your nut on. So at this point, this half of the deck is done. We've got our new pulley, we got our new belt, we got our new spindle and blade, and it's greased and ready to go. Okay, so for the belt engagement pulley, you know, the thing that hooks to the cable, pulls this little arm and makes it all come alive. This one has a square bolt, so you only need to do the top. Okay, so we undo, like so. Pop this little guy off. This pulley's easier to remove because you can stop the blade with a piece of wood here. Alright, you get a piece of wood, and so it's on tight. You want to slide your pipe over your wrench. You have a fulcrum, and you hold the blade with the piece of wood, and then you can use your fulcrum to break the nut free. Right? Just pop that nut free. Same as the other side, we can remove our cover with our little Torx. We just unscrew. Them all together, where they are, get the cover off. Now we can take our pulley off and get our 1/2 inch. And the old pipe lever trick works really good on these too, because they're on pretty tight. They got to be on tight. I mean, to be safe. You've got a propeller blade of sharp steel spinning at several thousand RPMs. I don't think you want it coming loose. So yeah, just bust it free with your brake. The other spindle out, the other blade. That sounded pretty crappy too, pretty worn out. So it was time. It's just time. Every season or two you gotta do this. And that's why I'm showing you this, because it's really not that hard. You just gotta be patient and calm, have the right tools. Stuff's tight, so you gotta have a breaker bar. And yeah, just go slow and easy. Keep track of all your fasteners. Oh yeah, this one was bad too. Look. See how that jiggle? It shouldn't jiggle like that. Yeah, screw using the new janky hardware. Use your old tried and true Craftsman hardware that's made to deal with everything. You see it's got a little cup, and that'll cover any of that sticking out past the blade and make it nice even distribution. Just line up the star pattern. You just take your bolt and put a little grease on it. That'll be plenty. And when you put it together, it'll keep it from corroding. So I'm not going to use the pulleys from the kit. They just don't look the same quality. Here's the pulley. This is original Craftsman pulley. And you can see the difference in quality. Do you see any rivets? No, it's all one piece. It's really a nice unit. It's got a little number on it. But this new replacement one is cheesy. Look at that. It's two halves and then just a bunch of rivets. It doesn't even fit that tightly, so I'm going to reuse my old pulley. Yeah, that feels fine. I always have a little bit of play, but that'll be good. The advantage of the one with the discharge side is you can just feed it in through here, through the discharge opening, and then lift up the deck and guide it into the hole. This one's not so bad, really. I must have just replaced this one not too long ago. It's not noisy, but it's on its way, and it's certainly gotten dirty and wet several times, so might as well use the one. Okay, so we got to route the belt, right? It's got to go over the pulley, but behind the stays, right? Just like that. And we can put our 9/16 on the... Okay, torque these down. Are nice and stable. Now we just need to put our pulley on with our belt. Okay, we got our pulley on. We got our idler pulley on. We've got our spindle pulley on. Everything's groovy. We've got our new belt in. Now all we just have to do is jockey it back into position, lift it up, and put the cotter pins in. It's probably best to keep the dust cover off until you've got everything hooked up, because it just gives you more room to work. Just leave the dust cover off for right now while you're hooking up all the mounting levers and all the cotter pins. Slide this cotter pin back on and put the washer under it. Support arm. You gotta put your height adjustment washer on and cotter pin. Like that. Get it popped on. Then we gotta put our front cotter pin on. Gold rod. Make sure your belt is going on to the pulley. You don't want to get that tangled up in anything. You want to go through the idler hook so that you can get it on your pulley and leave it on. There you go. Get the rod to fit. You might have to put some shims under the deck to raise it up. So yes, to line up this gold rod, you really got to raise the front of the deck with a little block of wood, and then you can feed it through. So to reattach your engagement spring, just physically push the lever with your one hand over and then line up the little hook and feed it through the hole. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little hole that sits in. And then all you have to do is bolt your tension bracket. It's really neat, the little cable tension bracket here. It can slide. If it starts to wear, if the cable stretches or whatever, you can pull it physically and then tighten your bolt down. You're adding more tension to the spring. But if you got a brand new deal, you can just let it go all the way out. Whatever you want to do for the way you like your cable and drive to work. So the big thing to walk away from is not that hard. Just be patient. Tighten everything good. Put grease on your bolts. And you got a brand new mower deck again. Ready for the mowing season. Okay. Thanks for watching. Be well.